Hello and welcome to the Walk Off. It's the Friday show, and I think it's kind of safe to say maybe the greatest Friday show to ever exist to date. Now, hopefully, there is a peak to this mountain, but I don't want to get too far ahead of us. Yesterday's game, absolutely incredible. I'm Scott Belford, so excited to be joined by baseball Jenn Smith. Welcome aboard here. Pretty exciting stuff. The Blue Jays up 3 games to 2.
I, I I can't believe we're here. I'm going to be very, very honest with you. Like, there's a part of my brain that is still like, can you believe that they are literally one win away? And I know the job's not done. I know the job's not done, but to be sitting on the precipice of a World Series championship, when you think back to where this team was last year, even where they were 6 weeks into this season,
Mm-hmm.
if we can all remember back that far, and to think of just how this team has come together and the performances that various individuals have contributed to this incredible season. I mean, it's been 32 years. It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
What keeps coming to my mind is that this team is never down and out, despite everyone thinking they're down and out. Like we were all kind of starting to come to terms with the fact this might be a wild card team in those last couple weeks, right? I mean, they literally won out 4 games in a row to make sure that they held on to the division, and barely by the skin of their teeth they did this. And then against the Yankees, it really did feel like a mountain that was probably unclimbable. And it wasn't at all. They kind of steamrolled the Yankees. And then
Mhm.
going down 2-0 to the Mariners. Same sort of thing, but honestly, I had never been quite as down, and I didn't say it publicly, but I truly in the gut of my soul, I felt like this team might be down and out after that 18 inning loss. And the complete opposite. They bounced right back again. And yesterday was just pure dominance.
This is what this team has been doing ever since they just coalesced back in May or whenever it was in the season. And really they just kept rolling. Like, that's really what it is. They just kept rolling along. And we had some pretty harsh words to say about them towards the end of the season, because it was looking a little bit bleak, right? Not that a wild card team is necessarily a bleak outcome,
No,
but I think
expectations had been risen, is what it was
this
after
is
their
just
play.
it.
Yeah.
This is just it, right? Is that once expectations are there, then they get raised, right? That's just the way that it is. People are not just, oh, we're just happy to be here. No, no, now we really want to see this through. We like this team. We like these guys, and we want to see this through. And they pulled off those 4 straight wins, and they haven't looked back. That's just it. They have not looked back. And that 18 inning loss the other night, as devastating as that was, right? Because he had multiple chances to win, and you go 18 innings, like you want to finish it out. And but it did not faze them. They did not look phased.
Especially with some of the things that have been dealt their way. I mean, Bo Bichette just joined this team for the World Series, and almost as soon as he comes in the door, George
George.
Springer's out the back, and it's just like it doesn't really. And by the way, I say it doesn't really matter lightly because this team is much better with Bo Bichette in the lineup. We have seen that firsthand. This team is much better with George Springer at the top of the lineup. We have seen what he can do even on one leg in game 7. But despite how important these guys are truly all season long, when some guy goes out, the next man is up. And that's not even something I thought existed in baseball, Jenn. Next man up. In a league so development driven, who has spare guys in AAA like this Blue Jays team does? It's got to be one of the deepest teams I've ever watched in my entire life of watching baseball.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, when you look at the individual stories, right? Guys who did not make the team out of spring training, guys who were sent down like Davis Schneider, and did not look good in AAA, quite frankly, but got the opportunity to be called back up. And, every single one of them, Ernie Clement is what, 29?
Yeah.
Every last one of these guys who have been granted an opportunity has done the absolute most they possibly could with it. And you add it all up, and this is what you've got.
And they've all had these huge moments in
Yes.
major spots, like every single one of them. I mean, Andres Jimenez may have very well
Oh,
single-handedly saved this season in game 3 and then again in game 4. And I'm not saying that it was just he put the whole team on his back, but he had those moments, that lightning rod that brought them back into what felt like a pit of despair, right? It
absolutely.
vaulted them out of that. Nathan Lucas, my God, where would this team be without this 10-year minor league journeyman veteran, 31 years old? And he is as important of a cog as anyone on this team.
I'm going to be really honest with you. If I was a professional baseball player toiling in the minor leagues, I think at 30, I'd hang it up, and that's not to, say you don't have this dream that you want to see through, but I think at some point a lot of people would be like, this is just not in the cards for me,
Hmm.
right? And I'm going to have to find a way to segue here. And he did not, and look what he's doing. And it's just, you go down that lineup, right? And collectively, these individual stories. I mean, I wish, ESPN still did their 30 for 30 series,
Yeah, this
whatever it
this
is.
team would be the perfect 30 for 30. And it's kind of funny because everyone we just mentioned, Jen, on the complete other end of the spectrum, and I know every podcast and every Blue Jays analyst out there is talking and doing content about him right now. But I mean, 22-year-old Trey Savage
Yes.
literally had a start for the freaking ages last night, 12K, which is a major league record in the World Series for strikeouts. Forget rookies. Like, it's just an incredible outing there. I know this is a stat here from Ian Hunter, who writes with The Nation there, and he goes, Trey Savage now has the number 2 and 3 best starts in Blue Jays postseason history. Of course, with that dynamite start against the Yankees, and then as if like none of us thought it could be one upped. His start against the Yankees, literally, I was happy if that was the peak of the mountain for Trey Savage, and he came out last night and was completely unhittable.
He just set a new bar for himself
It's
and for others, you
yeah.
know. And I had a feeling he would have a good night, right? It was clear his last outing was not his best. He didn't have his best stuff. He grinded through 4 innings and managed to keep the Jays in the game. And I thought if he's got the feeling for his pitches, he'll be fine. But I don't think I expected that performance that we got. I mean, he brought Shohei Ohtani to his knees.
I
Uh,
mean, yeah, I just like that just feels like such a mental battle. Like you're up against Shohei Ohtani in game 5 on the road of the World Series. And like Jeff Passan had a quote of his where he was Dodgers fans were relentlessly razzing Trey Savage in the bullpen before game 5, and he turned to Pete Walker and said, "This is so much fun. I love this." And like life's a mental battle, and this kid's in like one of the most pressure cooker situations you could dream up, and he's like, this is great, this is amazing.
there are people who do not get stage fright. There are people who thrive off of the energy of others, positive or negative. There are people who want to just go out there and prove you wrong. And there are guys who just soak it all in, right? Like, look at me, look where I am, look what I'm doing. Like, why wouldn't I be relaxed? Why wouldn't I be having fun? Who else gets to do this?
Yeah,
Right? And that
like
seems
and
to
to
always
have that
seems to be
perspective.
him. Right.
at 22. Like, listen to this, Jen. Listen to this. Pitchers with multiple 11K performances in single postseason games are in a single postseason, I should say, all time. Trey Savage, 2025. Tarek Skubal, 2025. Max Scherzer, 2013. Justin Verlander, 2012. Cliff Lee, 2010. Randy Johnson, 2001. Kevin Brown, 1998. Tom Seaver, 1973. End of list. It's a list of 8. And a man who started in Dunedin, Florida in low A this year is on that list. Pixie dust. Like, this team just, it feels like a team of destiny. And I know that there is a lot of heavy lifting to do here. I don't want.
I keep tweeting Team of Destiny. And yes, I said it off the top. You just said it. It's not done yet. We know it's not done. Um,
And it's not going to be easy. Like,
no,
literally, the elimination game is always the toughest one, especially in the championship, especially for the World Series. We're well aware of what Yamamoto has done with this Blue Jays squad last time. And game 7, I mean, if you go to game 7, fuck, roll the dice. Like, there's a lot that can happen. And it is wild that they have put themselves in this position, though.
it is. It is. I think to take, 2 out of 3 at Dodger Stadium could have been 3 out of 3, right? Like they were the better team throughout that 18 inning game overall. Is just really remarkable. And I think a lot of the weaknesses that exist on that Dodgers team have really been exposed by the Jays. And I think that's a really interesting aspect of all of this, right? Because the talk going in, the David and Goliath, yada yada yada. Um, you know, sure, they're a very good team, but they have not played to that supposed level in this series.
I mean, I knew that the American National Baseball media and Dodgers fans would underestimate this team. I did not. I did not think that the Los Angeles Dodgers would, and it feels a little bit like they may have. And you know what? I hate even saying that because the truth is, people still aren't giving this Blue Jays team their flowers. Like, the truth is, there's Dodgers fans screaming from the rooftops, "This isn't about the Blue Jays. Our offense gone cold." It's like, well, how the hell do you think an offense goes cold? Like, normally it's the pitching you're facing. So
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly it, right? And, good teams find a way to win and good teams get hot at the right time. And you've been here before, just last season. So, when are you going to show up to the level that you expect to? But yeah, I think that there is an element of underestimating the Jays. I think that, the Dodgers are used to being the darlings of the baseball media, with their Sunday night games and their showcase games. And, of
and
course,
probably for good reason, as
when
much as
you
I
have
kind of hate
Shohei
it.
Ohtani, you're going to get all of that attention regardless. And there is this, that air of stardom, I guess, amongst this team, and to come up against the one team that resides north of the border, the one team that's got dudes that are making sort of league minimum,
Hmm.
and whatnot. I don't think that they necessarily bargained for the fight that they got.
And I think a lot of it is that the starting pitcher of this Blue Jays team, the starting pitching of this Blue Jays team has been underrated. I think that they have done an absolutely incredible job in this World Series. I mean, Kevin Gausman holds the one of the losses, and I mean, he literally, I mean, I know he came out in the 7th down 3-1 after giving up that two run home run, but he pitched an incredible game. He
He gave
got
them an
17
opportunity to
outs
win.
in a row. Like,
Yep.
it, you know,
Well, I mean, we really need to talk about how, you know, Shane Bieber coming off of Tommy John
yeah,
surgery. and had not pitched up until August. I don't remember the his
He was
first
in
start date.
Buffalo
Mhm.
August 24th.
Okay, there you go. Um, and then of course Max Scherzer, who had such a strange year with injuries. And, he looked really good when he came back from the thumb injury and then looked pretty terrible down the stretch, like he didn't have it. And then, left off the ALDS roster, put in for the ALCS, and he wants it so badly. Like he's just a madman out there. We all saw him throwing the sunflower seeds last night, having a hell of a time,
Oh yeah.
having a hell of a time. And he played a fundamental role in this. So you know, I just, like I said, you go from old man Max down to Trey Savage, who will still be eligible for Rookie of the Year next season, right? And just everyone in between. And gosh, it's just
Now I'm going to do something here I shouldn't do because
uh-oh.
I am well aware that we should just be basking in this moment and not think of the future.
No,
But,
we need to.
but one thing that I love that is going to happen with Trey Savage that no one has mentioned, no one is talking about because why would they? Why would you look forward when this is literally what you have wanted the whole time as a Blue Jays fan? So yes, continue to live right where we are, everybody. But Ricky Tiedemann just came off Tommy John surgery, and he was obviously the number one prospect right before he got injured. The light shone incredibly bright on this man. There was an absolute hype farm based around him. He was all over Twitter, all over Insta. Anyone who was a fan was saying his name. Ricky T is going to save this team. And all of a sudden, Trey Savage becomes quite a sunblock, if you will, when it comes to the hype that was around Ricky T. And the truth is, I really am expecting big things out of him come the spring because no one's going to be expecting it. No one's eyes are going to be on him. He might get a little fanfare and a little talk, but it's not going to be anything like what it was coming into 2024, where everyone was like, oh my God, I hope that basically what happened with Trey Savage, everyone was hoping would be Ricky Tiedemann.
Right, right.
And with so many holes in this rotation going forward in 2026, and I know that, you know what, who knows? We could see Shane Bieber back. Like maybe that's part of the reason they acquired him is if we can go on a run, maybe Shane will come back. Well, guess what? We're on a run. Maybe there's even a world where you give Chris Bassett too much money and $15 million or something like that and tell him 1 year. And if you wind up in the bullpen, guess what? You seem pretty darn good in there.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about that too. With Chris Bassett, do you bring him back? Do you bring him back strictly to be a high leverage reliever? Are you starting him as a starting pitcher? I assume he would want to start. Like that's
Yes.
just what I would assume he'd
And
want
you
to do.
might need him to start for a while.
Right, absolutely. But did I did you know that he would come out of the bullpen and dominate like that? And
No.
you know for a guy to he was clearly upset when he was left off the ALDS roster,
Yes.
right? Like he said the right things, but he was clearly unhappy with that decision. And for the mentality to be, look, I'll do whatever you need me to do, like whatever you ask, just know that I've got this, right? I can absolutely do this, whatever it is you want. And to then do it, right? And to basically just be, like, well, yeah, of course I did that,
Yeah.
because he can really sort of narrow down his crazy pitch choice when he's pitching out of that role. I just think it opens up like a world of possibilities for what his future in baseball might look like because he's not young, right? He's not
No.
young. And so, there's different options there now for him.
So this is an insane little stat. Going back here to talk more about the World Series, obviously, Rocky's starting pitching had a 6.65 ERA in 2025. That's the highest by any rotation since earned runs became official in 1913. I know that's a weird way to start this, but it all comes into sight here when you hear Yankees, Mariners, Dodgers starters versus Blue Jays this postseason, 6.66 ERA. They have allowed 54 runs in 73 innings, and we still hear the oh, they're getting lucky. Like it's like how big of a sample size do you need, right? Like the Jays in this postseason have beaten the following pitchers: Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Blake Snell twice, Shohei Ohtani, and they also beat up on Glass now, and then still lost that one in 18 innings. But like this,
They're beating very good pitching.
yeah,
They are beating very good pitching because they have not deviated from what has made them successful the majority of the season. They have stuck to their plan, right? Bat on ball, wait for your pitches, don't expand the zone. They have done everything that got them to this point. They have not allowed this moment to get too big for them, right? They have stuck to their game plan. And I don't know if that's just now become like an ingrained mentality in all of
yeah.
them, right? Like this is who they are, right? This is the identity of this team.
Talk about the perfect mix of like veteran experience and young, youthful exuberance or like excitability, right? Like you can tell like the old dog Max Scherzer's just excited as the kids because I really do think he's getting such a kick out of watching a new generation of ball players experience what he already knew existed.
I mean, I don't know what other teams offered him, right? He said he signed with the Jays because he wanted a chance to win with the World Series. He also signed with the Jays because of what they offered him, right?
Yes.
So let's be real about that. But the way that it's played out, like, oh my gosh, like here he is in the World Series, one win away, and he is the biggest hype man out there, right?
Hmm.
Like if he calls it a day after this season, like bring him back just as a hype man, mental, mentality coach or something like that, because he
Yeah.
absolutely, like he's so laser focused when he's in, job mode, and then is just, the ultimate hype man when he's sort of
Truly.
sitting on the side. But you've seen all of them do this, right? You've seen Chris Bassett get fired up. You've seen Jeff Hoffman get fired up, right? George Springer, that home run, which made me laugh while weeping for the record on my couch, that sent them to the World Series, jumping around on like basically like one good leg,
Yeah.
like just to a man. They are so locked in, and they keep saying like this is the best team they've ever had chemistry wise, right? And I know a lot of people, a lot of fans want to like, winning is what builds chemistry. But, chemistry, it is a thing. You talk to players, it is absolutely a thing that they believe. There is
I mean,
a
I think
sense.
anyone who says that hasn't lived in the real world long enough. I mean, there's chemistry at regular jobs. It's called
Absolutely, there
liking
is.
your coworkers. And listening to Kevin Gosman talk about it to add to your point there, he even says he's never been so close. And when he said that, he was like, I don't even mean to just the players. He's like, all of our wives hang out together. Our
Yeah,
kids are friends. Like the Blue Jays have gone out of their way to make it a family friendly area, a place where they can bring their wives and kids. The field is open to everybody. And this isn't the case with every organization. And I think that it's opening other organizations' eyes to how important that is to some of these guys.
well, and I think they, as an organization, they recognized somewhere along the way that they maybe did have a bit of a culture problem, whatever that
Hmm.
looks like, clubhouse culture, and took strides to address it, and have somehow just the right group of guys in there, right? And I think part of that is who they called up and when. Part of that is who they went out and signed or traded for. I think they did their homework on a lot of these guys, right? Who can we bring in here that can get the job done while also fitting into what we're trying to do?
And it does kind of kill me a little bit to give Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro credit, but credit where credit is due. This is literally what they were selling us years ago. This is literally what they were trying to change this team into in 2023, when all of us were like, they gutted our offense without even thinking about it. But what we're seeing out of this offense, what we're seeing out of this team is literally the blueprint of that idea. And I also need to give credit to them in that for everything you just said, right? The culture wasn't great and they listened to their veterans. They sat down with the team and said, what do we need to do to get better? And then they executed it and they executed it beautifully. And listen, I'm well aware you put this season in a simulator 100 times, we may never get here again. But fuck that. Who gives a shit? We're here. We're one win away from the World Series, and it's on the back of the way this team was built. And yes, you can constantly say, well, they signed Anthony Santander. He did nothing. But also, they developed our Addison Barger, who stepped out of AAA and literally replaced the home runs that you needed out of Santander, right? Like, I know that there's luck involved and there's luck involved in all. And by the way, I am not just heaping all of this on the front office. This is an organization wide, up and down success. All the coaches, everything has gone right. And that all comes back to what you were saying about culture.
This is not the team that Ross Atkins envisioned being on the field this season, right? We'll
No,
just start there. This is not how they envisioned, certain things to have played out. But on an as need basis, they ended up pulling the right levers along the way. And this is the result of that. And so they have a winning formula. We'll just say that they've got a winning formula. And it took almost a decade
yes.
to find that formula, but they did. And so I will give credit to them for, like I said, having pulled the right levers, having guys that they believed in, and then knowing when to call upon them this season. And the coaches that they hired, we can't say enough, I don't think, about David Hawkins.
No.
Um, and so,
And the hitting strategy up and down this
right,
organization, right? I mean,
right,
they changed
exactly.
everything.
So it's worked all the way along, and credit where credit is due. They definitely saved their jobs with the
Yeah.
organization, but they've also they've given Rogers more reason to continue spending, right? They've given fans continued reason to come out and support this team and everything else, and like, keep it rolling. Let's see if we can keep, they can keep this rolling.
We need 27 outs and one run. Just
It's
gotta shut it down against Yamamoto. I mean, let's talk some game six here because it is going to be a tough one. They are back in the Rogers Center where they are the best team in all of baseball at home. Just slightly better than the Los Angeles Dodgers, who they took 2 of 3 from in LA. So you know what? Sample size is out the window. It doesn't really matter. It's 2 games. If they are going to get to Yoshinobu Yamamoto, what do they got to do it, Jen?
play
And if you can
play
answer
their
this
game.
question, you should be on the coaching staff.
They have to stick to their game plan. That's
Yeah.
it, right? You know, can wait for your pitch. And I know he's very good. He's very, very good.
It
Wait,
feels like a cop out, but literally, they have to play Blue Jays baseball.
they just have to continue to play their game, to not look at who's on the mound. And I don't think they will, but don't look at who's on the mound and think, oh my gosh, like I can't beat this guy or this guy's so good or why, don't overcomplicate your game plan. Don't overcomplicate what you're looking for. Stick to what got you here.
Sure
Um,
would help to see more pitches. And I know that
well,
that's not necessarily always the Blue Jays game, but
they've now seen him once,
yeah.
right? They've seen him. They know what he's offering. I
Can
mean,
they get him out in the
that's another
seventh?
thing for Gosman. So, but they know what Yamamoto is offering them, and I'm sure that they're going to be as ready for it as they can be. And yeah, agreed. And I've said it all along. Like, we work up their pitch count because if you can get into that Dodgers bullpen, right? If you can get into that Dodgers bullpen, then, right there, you've got your best chance to pile on some runs. But you can't do that without, making Yamamoto really work.
Yeah.
But I don't see why they can't necessarily, right? Like they're going to come in
I mean,
knowing,
I just read off to you the list of pitchers they beat. And I mean, Yamamoto is incredible, but
yeah,
he's right in that list. It's not like he is a step above these guys. He just managed to shut down the Jays better than they did.
I am exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, you know, uh, I really don't want it to go seven.
I'm with you. I don't think I can handle it. I just like it's funny. I've managed to sort of compartmentalize how insane this is throughout this World Series, and of course, I've been losing my mind and stuff like that. But the fact that we still have breathing room has kept me from being in a full panic, and I know that that would be all eroded if we wind up in Game 7, and I will be a mess.
Yeah, I really hope we don't go that route for everybody's sake because I just don't know that collectively we could handle it.
Well, I've said this a few times. I was watching Game 7 of the ALCS with some buddies, and there was a point in the seventh inning where I had my hands on my head, and my buddy just turns to me and he's like, "Are you even enjoying this?" And I'm like, "No, of course not. What do you mean am I enjoying this?" Right? Like,
It's funny because for different reasons. I mean, I was in high school when I was 15 when they won in 93. 15, I guess so. And I mean, I was extremely excited and everything, but I was a teenager, right?
yeah.
Like, very different time in life. The 2015 team, that run that they went on really saved me on a personal level. And I was very, very emotional about that team.
Hmm.
Um, and as excited as I have been about this team, and as much as I love this team, I didn't quite feel like, I guess, as emotionally connected. And I just thought, I could, you're older, whatever, Jen. But like I said, when Springer hit
Yeah.
that home run, and I screamed. I'm going to start crying just talking about it. I got so emotional over that, and I realized, like, yeah, no, this means something to you. This means something to them. This means something to everybody who's watching this.
Shit, when
And
Vladdy was tearing up, I literally my
oh my
eyes were
god,
welling up. I was like, "Oh my God, he cares so much."
yeah, I mean, well, that was such a beautiful moment to see him being unable to get words out because
Yeah.
fighting back the emotion. And I think that they're all kind of, to varying degrees, but it means so much to them.
And
And I can't tell you, I'm in a position where I get to see lots of different people every single day, and the conversations people are having, young people, old people, doesn't
yeah.
matter. People who don't really watch baseball but are tuning in because they want to be part of the conversation. They want to know what's happening and they're excited about it, and that's how, jump on the bandwagon because that's how new fans get made, right?
And this is one of the more uniting things that can happen in this country is the Blue Jays going on a run. It breaks down division, it breaks down politics, it breaks down all that shit that we all get caught up in, and we can just literally
Absolutely.
sit and watch a game together and feel the magic of this 2025 team. And I'll leave with this, Jen. We'll leave it on this. I've got some Vladimir Guerrero Jr. stats, and I just thought
Sure.
I'd end on this because truly I'm with you. Watching him tear up and not get the words out, it it is rare for someone who makes the money that Vladdy makes to care as much as Vladdy cares. And you've seen it all postseason long. It's one for the ages. He has 8 home runs, most in Jays playoffs history. He has 15 RBIs, single season Jays playoff record, 27 hits. That's second all time. And he may catch old Randy Arozarena. 39 times on base, second all time, and he may catch old Randy Arozarena. And then he has a 1,337 OPS. That's fourth all time. Like we're talking a game that's been played since 1867. I know that the stats get blurry, but nonetheless, like this is absolute insanity. Blue Jays fans, get out there and enjoy it. Revel in the moment.
You start looking at stats from this postseason, and he's top of the list in every offensive category. A 255 weighted runs created plus, for instance, right? Like he's just, and that was after what would be considered a bit of a down season for him.
Hmm.
And when the lights were shining the brightest, he came through, and that's exactly what a $500 million man does. It's exactly what they do.
It's exactly what they do. Game 6 and 7. Hopefully, it's just 6. Go Blue Jays. Thank you so much for joining, Jen. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.